Point Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
Greetings, blessings, and good fortune. We're back, everybody. This is the Bitcoin Otter Show, coming live, 97.7 FM, here in McAllen, Texas, KCYP, The City. We are inside of the McAllen Creative Incubator, and I am honored today to have a great guest, Ms. Dr. Shirley Barbosa. Ma'am, if you would please let everybody know who you are,
Yes.
what it is that you do, and we're just going to listen for a little bit, and then I'd like to ask you some questions. I got a lot of questions, and I'm sure people who are tuning in would like to know a few things too, because Dr. Barbosa is a naturopath. A naturopath, in case you didn't know, is a doctor that gathers knowledge about nature and what it is that nature has in store for us as humans, as far as things that, help us out in life. Go ahead, man.
Yes, I'm a naturopath physician, and I work with alternative medicine. And because I have a degree MD too, so I can sometimes practice, if I'm in Mexico, I can practice integrative medicine. So that means we can combine natural medicine, alternative medicine with allopathic medicine.
Okay, so whatever works best for the patient.
Yeah, the patient.
Okay.
But here I work only as naturopath. So
Okay.
that means only alternative medicine, only with supplements.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And the name of your practice?
Nature's Remedy Center.
Nature's Remedy Center. And where's the address? That's here in McAllen, right?
Yes, we are in McAllen, and then we are 508 North 10th Street, Suite C10, McAllen, Texas 78501, and we are like Business 83, 2 blocks to the right.
Okay.
On the right side.
Okay. I linked in a promo I put out earlier today.
Oh, you
I
did?
put in your LinkedIn page.
Oh, okay.
So people can visit that if they're able to do that. So I know I look a little distracted. I'm just trying to get into the comment sections here. So okay, got it. Maria, you are here. Thank you. If you have any questions for the good doctor, throw them at us. So a little bit of history. What got you into being a doctor? What got you motivated to go ahead and one, start a challenging career like a physician, as a physician. 2, to move here, right? From, did you start in Mexico and then you came here?
Yes, I came from Maryland. I am from Brazil originally, São Paulo, Brazil.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was a totally different career. I was studying to be mechanical engineer, and I did
Oh, wow.
work in Maryland 10 years as a patent drafting.
Okay.
But then God had other plans for me. He closed all my doors, and I have to come here to the Valley and study medicine.
Okay.
And so after I took it that direction, all the doors open, and I could see clear that he wants me to be a doctor. And
Wow,
that's
that's
what
a
I'm
great story.
doing. Yes.
Yeah.
He guided me to be here
Okay.
to help this population
Right here in the RGV.
and the
Rio Grande
Valley. If you think about, he handpicked me from Brazil and brought me here to the Valley to work with you.
Sort of what he
this
did with
community.
Jonah, right? When he got swallowed by the fish, Jonah wanted to go this way. God said, no, you're going that
Yes,
way.
exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
I was going everywhere, and one day he closed all the doors, said, no, now you're going to take this road. And I accepted, and I don't regret.
Awesome. I'm glad you did. It's an honor to meet you. If you could, and this is very interesting to me, that there would be there'd be a way for you to practice integrative. How does that?
Integrative medicine
Integrative?
is allopath with alternative
Right.
medicine.
So there's an avenue. There's a way. There's
it's
a
called integrative when you combine both.
But you can do that in Mexico.
Yes,
But you can't do that here.
I did work over there in Mexico. I was practicing there. I could use any of the three: allopath, alternative, or integrative.
And a combination.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
that seems great.
And
But
here it's just alternative medicine.
Yeah, because here it's and I've already agreed, everyone. Anyone who's watching this and you know me, and the vast majority of like the 600 some friends that we have here on Facebook know me. So you know that I'm holding back. You know that I'm being very respectful because of the presence of the doctor. But I have my feelings about our medical system. I have feelings about all of the American systems and how they have been transformed. Let's use a nice word, transformed. I really want to say something very much more aggressive, but I'm going to use the term transformed, at least in the last decade or two, to things that we as older people, and I'm not too old, but I'm old enough to know that it wasn't like this when I was a kid. So it amazes me that we as Americans call ourselves a free nation. We call ourselves freedom lovers, okay? But it seems to me, and this is me, this is not you, it seems to me that in the medical profession, we are restricted more than free. I would say it's more restrictive than it is free. If I want to be cured of something, or if I want to be get better, I just want to get better. There's something wrong with my body. I want to, find a remedy. Okay, some sort of remedy. I'm limited as to what I can do, aren't I?
Well, practicing both medicines, I'm going to explain a little bit. Natural medicine, alternative medicine is 6,000 years old. Since God put us on the earth,
yes,
it's been natural medicine. And allopathic medicine is not that old. And the difference between alternative medicine and allopathic medicine, that alternative medicine, we treat the root cause of the problem.
Okay.
In allopathic medicine, we treat the symptoms and the condition itself. So it's different. Like before, the definition for medicine was the healing art. And now the way it is, because allopathic medicine is just taking care of the symptoms. So it's not healing art no more. It's just keeping the same way it is.
Right.
But the real definition for medicine is healing art. So that means for you to recover.
Right.
It's not for you to still
get
be
better,
sick.
to be as close to where
and
you are.
how it works, like anytime you get sick, there is loss. Like there is loss for traffic, that loss called health loss. When you don't know how your body works, the anatomy and physiology, when you disagree with that, disease comes. So everybody that gets sick is because they trespass the health laws. Ignorance means lack of education. So when you don't know how your body works, the anatomy and the physiology is going to cause that you're going to be sick. But that law is amazing. Once you learn how works your body and you stop doing what you're doing wrong, reverses. Only if you're far gone, like for example, if you smoke a cigarette, up 2 packs per day, and then you get lung cancer, and sometimes can be irreversible because you're far gone.
Right.
Okay, but if it's not far gone, that law is very easy. Like we stop doing what you're doing wrong, learn how your body works, and then stop for doing things right, and the body can shift back. But
Right.
as a naturopath doctor, we help you to get back quickly. What
Okay.
we do, we teach you how to detox, how to eat properly, how to take some supplements to speed up to reverse. So, but what we do really is put your immune system back, because your
Right.
own body is going to fix things itself.
Because the body cures us. The body heals
The body
us.
itself. Because if you have a good immune system, like if I got exposed to any infection, but I can contract the infection, but if my immune system is in good shape, in 24 hours my own body defeats. I can feel like a little feverish for
Right.
one day, a little uncomfortable, but the next day I'll be fine because you have a good immune system.
Right.
So as a doctor, what I do is just to detox and take care of the problems that you have, goes to the root cause of the problem, and teach you how to eat and sleep properly, and then the body goes back to normal, supposedly.
Right. Well, that's the end reason, what you want. That's
Yes.
the desired outcome.
Because really, like I say, medicine is the name of medicine is the healing art. So that means you have to recover.
Right.
Only if you're far gone or God calls you, then you die.
Right.
But the natural medicine, the natural treatments, there is in the book of Ellen G. White, a prophet, God states through her that everybody that chooses natural medicine has 90% of chance to recovery. 90. But we never can say you're going to get healed because we don't know who God calls. but you do have 90% of recovery. But sometimes we do have to have a surgery or something like break a bone or something that you really need that kind of medicine. But most of the time, God's intention is for every family, the women, to learn how the body works, anatomy and physiology, for her to be the doctor for her family.
Wow.
What to feed and what to...
That is interesting.
That was the purpose for God.
And you know, this is on the side. I want to give a shout out here to Mikey. I want to give a shout out to Roseli. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions for the doctor, throw them in here. I'll be looking at it from time to time. But this ties back to some of the things that I touch on in this show. Okay, so I've got the otter and the Bitcoin, right? So I'm here because I think that there's going to be a financial crisis coming soon. I know it's already happening, but most people don't see it.
Yes.
But my mission is to be a watchman on the wall. I can see what's coming. God has put it into me to tell people what I believe is coming and give them options as to how they can prepare.
Yes, we as a doctor, we teach how to detox and to improve their lifestyle. So when all these diseases that we're going to be exposing are on and off, the body has a chance to survive. Doesn't matter what's going to happen in your way. So
you would say that you also have a method of prepping in the medical sense, in the nutritive sense.
Yes, because if you have, for example, more approach to the end of the times, the recommendation for us to be go back to the original diet that was vegetarian. Like if you have a clean body, doesn't have too many toxins, and you get exposed to any disease, can't you heal faster than other person that was eating too many things that are like fast food?
Right.
So you're gonna do better than the other person. So that's the difference. So
let me ask you this: I have read and seen on video and listened to on interviews about the farming techniques, especially here in the U.S. There's the farming industry, and God bless our farmers, even though they're trying to, Al Gore's out there trying to tell our farmers not to grow any more food, okay? Because apparently, and excuse my language, cow farts are going to kill us, okay? I mean, these people are literally insane. Literally, I'm not joking, and this is not hyperbole. These people are insane, okay? So this guy's telling us that our farmers can't grow food. However, what I have heard is that the farming of today is such that the food doesn't have as much nutrients. That's many nutrients as they used to when the farmers had the luxury of plowing over the chaff, so to speak, and then they would get the nutrients back into the soil. They'd leave the land, that portion of their land, for a year or whatever, and then they'd grow on this land. But now it's just 24/7. It's just season after season. So what is a good way for us to supplement our nutrients that we might not be getting from the greens that we eat, or the traditionally healthy food?
Yes, you're correct about that. It's because the farmers doesn't rotate the lands. God say plant 7 years and rest 1 year.
Yes.
So to accumulate the minerals and all the nutrition that the land needs. Because of that, we don't have the minerals that, like vitamins. When you need some vitamin in your body, you crave for something, vitamins your body can produce. But my recommendation to everybody is to take minerals. Like I on that water here, I have a shot of minerals.
Okay.
And for here's 34 ounces, I always put 1 ounce of minerals. And I recommend to everybody to take magnesium, minerals, vitamin E and C. Why vitamin E and C? Because they are powerful antioxidants. Like, for example, you're not supposed to drink a Coke, but if you drink a Coke, like when you drink a vitamin C, neutralize is the free radicals, because when you drink a Coke, you're going to be acidic and makes free radicals of water. Vitamin C neutralize. Like if you ate fried food, vitamin E neutralize. And neutralize the fat-free radicals. So by drinking minerals, vitamin C and E, you already protect the antioxidation. And then also iodine is very important because our food doesn't have enough iodine, and vitamin D. So I recommend to everybody all this.
I've been hearing great things about vitamin D.
Yes.
great things. All of the I've been doing research when the and I call it the pandemic. The doctor's not calling it the pandemic. I'm calling it the pandemic. So when the pandemic came, I was listening to anyone who had a strategy as to how we could beat this thing, because I had seen friends of mine actually, unfortunately and sadly, die. I don't think it was because of COVID, but the things that I was studying at the time, vitamin D kept coming up.
The reason that vitamin D works because like vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's a hormone, but more vitamin D you have prevents cancer, prevents many other things. They call like the flu season actually is lack of vitamin D because people stay inside the house, they don't expose them to the sun, and actually the vitamin D goes low, that's how they get sick.
Let me ask you this. I have heard that if you can load up on vitamin D, I have a dropper. It's like almost, it's potent, right? So I have a dropper, and there's another thing that I can't remember is in there, but it's supposed to be really good.
K2 actually.
That's it. That's it. It's a dropper, and I take that once in the morning and once, thank you. And I have heard that and read that if you can load up on vitamin D, but if you don't get sunlight, your body doesn't process the vitamin D properly. Is that correct?
Is the sunlight, like the vitamin D is because you're not getting sunlight.
Okay.
So if you take sunlight, you don't need it. Only a dark skin
okay.
is going to need more sunlight than us because the melanina. But by taking vitamin D, I give 10,000 units per day, even though the labs can hide. For me, it's okay. They don't get sick.
Right.
And prevents them to have cancer and prevents them to have flu.
Now that you mention that, let me ask this. We got Leslie. Glad to see you're tuning in. Joe, Tinoch, glad to see you guys are here. So this is a question I have. If someone's taking their vitamins, someone's some are, like you said, vitamin D is actually a hormone. If I'm taking my vitamins, I'm doing the things, eating well. Where does exercise come in?
Well, we should exercise. I'm Seventh-day Adventist. As a Seventh-day Adventist, we grew up like most of us vegetarian, and we know about health because we read those books.
In Brazil, right?
No, I became Seventh-day Adventist here, but in Brazil we do have to. But I grew up on a farm, so I always ate health.
Yeah.
Like we had 2 farms, and we always ate broccoli, cauliflower, fish, our own fish, and always health. Always exposed to the air, pure air, and the spring water. So I grew up in a health manner.
Excellent.
But we learn about this called 8 natural remedies.
Okay.
It's called N for nutrition. Like the best nutrition will be vegetarian. Then E, exercise. Exercise is a must. The best exercise is walking daily, from the little out to the old.
Okay.
The best exercise that you can do is walk early in the morning or late evening. And then the water, you should drink 2 bottles of that. And I'll put 1 shot of minerals on that, but at least two bottles of this is 32 ounces. And then sun, take at least 20 minutes sun twice a day, after 10 o'clock and after 4 o'clock. And then the temperance, that's mean however you do, don't overdo. Overwork, we sleep late, or things that's called
Which as Americans, we almost always do. We overdo. We don't so much do as much as we overdo.
This is temperance. And another thing, because here is always hot, especially where we live, and has air conditioning all day, we should come early, open the doors to refresh the air.
Okay.
We have to do that every day to circulate the
air.
Air.
That makes sense because the air we have is filtered through filters that don't get cleaned very much, right?
And another thing that we have to do, we should walk early when it's colder, like especially in the winter time when it's cold, the air is going to force you to have the full capacity of like a deep respiration the correct way.
Okay.
So a lot of people, it doesn't do that. So that's why we have shallow respiration.
Okay.
But that's would work. And then the rest is very important, especially for children. They should be in bed, like little ones 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And adults 10 o'clock, because the body has hormones to release. But the last time that the body will release a hormone will be you have to be 10 o'clock sleep, and the last hormone release is midnight. If you pass 10, you're not going to receive. And that is the growth hormones and all the other hormones that you need for the next day, so you can have like energy. Like a child that goes to sleep 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock won't do well in school. And the parent can do a deal with the child. This week you're gonna sleep the time you used to.
Right.
Next week we're gonna put you in bed at 8 or 9 o'clock. Let's see how well you're gonna do in school.
Right.
They're gonna do better when they sleep early, because
Okay.
they will receive the hormones. Like a child, like the man can grow up to 25 years old. If the child is not sleeping at 10 o'clock or before, he's not gonna be taller.
Wow. I have to tell my sons that.
Yes,
I have 3 sons, 2 of which are still in the growing phase. So, and I'm thinking about it now, and I'm thinking about their height, and how our youngest is 13, and he does have issues with his sleep cycle.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make sure that he gets this. I'm gonna make sure he understands this.
And the child, if they want to do well in school, should avoid the gluten and dairy and sodas, caffeine, all that, and
Right.
they'll do well in school. And the last one, a sun, you have to take at least 20 minutes twice a day, or at least in the sun,
Okay.
walking, exposed because of vitamin D. And then temperance. No, the last one is because it's called New Starts. The last one is trusting God, because you cannot heal yourself. It's you do your part. As a doctor, I'm a teacher. You do your part, I do my part teaching, and the healing is from God. And
Yes.
it's yes, no, and wait. So
Yes.
Psalms 103, God say, I am your God that forgive your sins and they heal all disease. So when we obey God, there is no disease for God, that there's no cure. But we have to do our part.
Right.
And then he's going to say yes, no, or wait.
Right. And there's temperance is not a and temperance, in the way I understand it, is self-discipline.
Yes,
Right?
you have to do your part.
Right. You
Yeah.
have to, like you said, avoid excess, which
Mm-hmm.
is not always easy, because excess is our culture nowadays. We've been hyped up, revved up, and ready to go for everything all the time.
Busy life, and
Exactly.
not taking the time to take care of yourself.
Exactly. Let me ask you this. I don't know if you've studied this or not, but I have. I get interested in many different subjects, fields, etc. Have you ever heard anything, or studied anything, or experienced anything along the lines of grounding yourself? Meaning, you go out in the backyard, you take off your chanclas, you take off your flip-flops, you take off whatever it is on your shoes,
Yes.
and you've got bare feet, and you walk on your grass or your dirt or your soil, whatever, grounding yourself. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
It's because you discharge the body. Like I grew up in a farm, so I would get up early, bare feet, and go walk on the grass. But I do have a magnet bed to ground myself. So I have a mattress, like a real thick mattress,
Okay.
and double like this. It ground me every time I go to sleep.
Interesting.
It's a really bars. It's not electrical or anything. It's really
Right.
a magnet bed. So each time I lie down, my body grounds itself.
Interesting. I'll have to
Yes.
look into that. That
Yes.
is something very interesting. I like to gather information from many different places and stuff like that. And some things just go against how we were taught. But the fact of the matter is, and the older I get, the more I realize the things we are taught are not always true.
Yeah, it could be correct.
You know, I look at some of the things that are being taught in our schools now, our children are being exposed to, and I'm like, wait a minute, why is it? And 9 times out of 10, you see that there's an agenda behind it. Someone is trying to teach them for either their benefit, profit, or so that they can further their cause at the expense of our kids' learning. And I think more and more parents are waking up to this. But I think in the health field, we can't, or we shouldn't, discount easy, natural fixes for the problems we have. Like you were mentioning with the magnets or so forth. Give it a try, right? I mean, if this is me thinking about it, why not try it?
But
You know,
ground
if-
will be the same thing. Like when you bare feet, make sure the glass is clean. There is no
Right.
dogs.
Yeah.
mess there.
That wouldn't work out
Because
too
when
well.
you walk bare feet, the feet has the biggest pores, and the parasites will go through that. So you
Okay.
have to be very careful.
Okay. What can you tell us about an anti-parasitic, a natural anti-parasitic that we could,
Well, there's many
take on a daily basis?
many products that we in the office we have many tinctures for parasites. And now I don't recall the names, but we do have quite
Right.
few like parasite A and B, parative. So I have different
it's like a
formulas.
mixture of stuff,
It's a
yeah.
mix of formulas, but there is another ways because here they don't believe too much in parasites. But
Absolutely.
but as I'm from Brazil and also I did my MD is from Mexico over there. When we work as a doctor, it's for us is a must to take the medication for parasites once or twice a year for the whole family. It's protocol over there.
Wow.
Mexico, Brazil.
That's
we
interesting.
did that. We do that.
And
Not
here you don't hear anything. People will even say, "Oh yeah, I'll have a medium rare pork sandwich," and I'm like,
But I'll tell you
Come on.
some tips when you have a parasite. You're
Okay.
gonna grind your tea is a tip that you have parasites. Dark hours is the tip that you have parasites. And the little kids that has itching during the night,
yes.
and they have parasites, usually pinworms.
Okay.
So those are signs that you have a parasites.
Got it.
Yeah. And when you crave for sugar and flour, a lot of candida
Yes.
fungus.
Yes. Because we don't here in America, we don't like to think that, oh wow, we can get parasites for this, that, or other reason, But the fact of the matter is, we're people too. We try to keep our environment clean,
Yeah.
but at the same time,
And
you never know.
two tips to avoid parasites. One, when you sit down to eat, you have to chew your food 32 times because that's start eliminating the parasites because the saliva
Right.
and produced enzymes, and then our stomach produced enzymes. So you have to chew 32 times the food very well. Take time to eat. And another thing, when you're gonna prepare your veggies and salads and fruits, you have to put in the water with vinegar,
Okay.
and leave 15 minutes to kill the microbes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's you starting load the parasites
Any
and microbes.
particular
yes.
type of vinegar, or white vinegar?
Could
any-
be a white vinegar or apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
Yes.
I like
put a
apple
bowl
cider
of
vinegar,
water
yeah.
and use 1-2 tablespoons of vinegar and let it sit there soaking. And,
Okay.
And then you take dry off and it will last longer, the fruits and the things, because you will last longer.
Excellent.
Yes.
So, what would you say would be an easy way that everyone who's watching, listening right now, an easy way that if they just included this one thing in their routine or in their diet for them and their family, it could show a great benefit to
Well,
them?
I recommend everybody magnesium is a must.
Okay.
Everybody takes magnesium because magnesium, it's all the metabolic functions depend on magnesium. So magnesium is a must. Like you used to have magnesium free on the water, but because it used to be spring water, and
Right.
they took it off the minerals, so everybody's lacking magnesium big time.
Do you drink I go to the water mill, so it's actually
It
RO?
doesn't have the minerals there.
It's dead water, right?
They
They call it
clean off.
dead water.
They leave 2 minerals that I don't recall now. But on my water, this one I did put minerals.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do recommend everybody take magnesium every single day. Everybody.
Have you looked into the fluoride that is added to our water?
Yes.
This is my opinion. Again, it's not the doctor's opinion. Fluoride is an industrial waste.
Calcifies the pineal gland.
Thank you. We're going to get into that in a minute. But this waste, okay, is taken to our water dispersal centers. And it's dumped into our water. When they're driving fluoride to the place where they dump it into our water, they have a hazmat placard on the tanker. So it's hazardous to humans to the extent that they have to list it on a list of hazardous materials.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hazardous to humans that they have to label it, and there's a danger if it spills on the road. But then they go and they dump it in our water.
I'm going to tell you one tip. When the kids or any person has too much fluor on the body, they would have a white mark on the teeth. That's mean fluorose.
Okay.
Needs to detox. And
Okay.
magnesium will help detox because magnesium causes calcification in the body. By taking magnesium, will clear up.
Okay. Does it chelate also?
Yes, it's magnesium work as a chelator.
Okay. A chelator,
Yeah,
to my understanding, is it binds with heavy metals that are not good for our body.
No, that dissolves the calcification.
Okay.
Yes, the magnesium dissolves the calcification. By taking magnesium, protect you from having stones like kidney stones, liver stones, arthritis, any kind, cataracts, pineal gland calcification.
Yes.
Will prevent those things.
Let's go into the pineal gland. Talk to us about the pineal gland. Many people don't even know what a pineal gland is. Okay, and this goes into some other things that I've been looking into that are not good at all.
Yeah, the pineal gland is related to the hormones, like the back and forth hormones that you need in your body. But when it's calcified, it's not working, so you're gonna have imbalance. So if you brush your teeth with toothpaste with fluoride, you're doing that. If you drink fluoride water, you're doing that. Especially, I don't recommend ever you give fluoride water for baby bottles because baby is very tiny and they
absorb it quickly, right?
Yeah, so nothing with fluor. Yes, nothing with fluor.
Okay, and I've asked the guys that clean up the water mill and stuff like that and I think the water mill is great because it's I can put my own minerals back into the water, but I want all the nastiness out of the water that I can get, right? But does reverse osmosis, if you know, I don't know if you've studied it.
Yes.
Does it take fluoride out?
I'm not sure about the process, but I know just that they put salt, and they just need to be aware with the amount of the salt that they use. Because one time I did have one client that was swallowing, and then I say maybe your osmosis water is too much salt, and then she lowered and got better right away.
Okay.
So, but I don't know if it really takes off the fluor. But I do have a filter that is Berkey. Yes. And then on the top there is 2 charcoals that removes everything. And the bottle, I have another filter special just to remove the fluoride.
Okay.
Because I really don't know what process they use for the waters. I buy on the red mill, but even though I do have that to make sure I don't have fluoride on my water.
Okay.
But you need to have that filter specific for fluoride.
Right.
It's not the same.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I've seen those, and I actually have a Berkey at the house. I need to break it out. It's like an emergency thing.
Yeah, it's the top is the
me.
2 charcoal filters,
Right.
but in the bottle there is 2. You have to buy a special
them
one
separately, yeah.
for fluor.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So back to the pineal gland. There is more than what most of us know to the pineal gland. The pineal gland also has to do with, in some way, the spirituality of a human, right?
Actually, they say that yes, but it's more hormones. But what I have been studying, because they're trying to do the human 2.0, God communicates to you through the front lobe. So they want to destroy the front lobe.
Okay.
That's where God's communicate. And we have a specific gene called VMATS2. That's the spiritual one. That's what they are going after. MATS2.
MATS2.
If they erase that, you won't have connection with God.
Right.
But because you're a Christian and you always connect to God, so you don't have to worry about those things.
Right.
Because, but God communicates to you through the front lobe.
Okay.
That's the communication. That's why the best time to pray is when you get up and when you don't have food in your stomach, because then you can hear God's voice.
Hence the fasting.
And
that
that's the best communication you can have, because there will be clear connection. But early, like before you do anything, you go and pray and do your study your Bible and do things.
Right.
Yes.
And there are verses on that.
But what they after is the VMATS2, and it's in front lobe. And once this gets damaged, you won't be able to think about God.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of them coming after us too. They want to change us. They want to. Elon Musk wants to put
it's the human 2.0.
a chip. Yeah.
It's going to be totally different. So they building a net, and you're going to be connected to the AI intelligence.
Right.
Yes, you don't need to do nothing. It's just connections is just be connected. But you have to have this on you.
Right.
And there is a ways to avoid.
There are always ways.
avoid.
Not that they're published, but there are always ways.
There is always a way.
That's
out.
why I'm doing what I'm doing, Doctor. I'm wanting to make sure that I publish whatever I find out, whether it actually works for everyone. I hope it does. But even if it doesn't, some things are just worth a try. Some things are just worth trying, as long as they're safe, as long as, you know. And I can go back to when the COVID thing hit. I had heard about different, you know, remedies, and it goes back to older stuff that, for the instance of hydroxychloroquine, it has been, along with ivermectin, those two have been, how would you say, they've passed the testing of the FDA, okay, in the 60s.
Yes, it did work. The reason that the ivermectin works is because when they delivers the zinc, you need to drink with the zinc. The reason works because ivermectin is a deliverer of zinc, and zinc stops the virus to multiply. I didn't use these medications, but I address, because COVID is not a disease. It's called COVID long. Many things can cause a cytokine storm. And then you have to, I address 4 points. I gave anticoagulant natural, and then you need to give anti-inflammatory natural, and then you're gonna need one thing for microbes, because they are immune depressed, so the microbes can attack them, and the detox. You have to give 4 things. Because I had one client that she took ivermectin and antibiotic and still got clots on the lung. So you have to make sure you address those 4 points. Anticoagulant for the blood not to clot, anti-inflammatory. Anticoagulant because the COVID lung is going to have clots. So first, in order for to have COVID long, the first thing you're gonna go, what's gonna happen in your body is the vessels is gonna swallow, called bradykinin. Once this vessel swallows in the lung, the water build up. Okay. That's why you take anti-inflammatories, for the water don't build up. And once you immune depressed, so that's meaning the microbes is going to come out. Even the microbes that is on your mouth or things, they can go on your lungs because you immune depressed. So, and then the detox in first place, because anytime you get sick, you are toxic. So you have to detox, because until you don't detox, it's not going to stop the cascade.
Right.
So you have to do those 4 things. And doesn't matter, I use all different things and they got well the same way. But I address those 4 points. Anticoagulants for not to clot, detox, anti-inflammatory, anything for microbes. If you address those 4 points, big chance to recover.
Okay, that's good information. And there's things, and if you're wondering, if you're watching and you're wondering, hey, why isn't the Otter bringing this up or that up? It's because things are very sensitive in our country right now. Dr. Barbosa has a practice here in the United States. She's got one also in Mexico. If we were in Mexico, we could say a lot more, couldn't we?
Yes.
we could say a lot more that would help. But here we are in America. Some people spell it with a K. Why do they spell it with a K? Because, well, it gives a little accent to America as a place where we no longer have the First Amendment the way we were taught we had it. We no longer have the freedoms to say things that are obviously true, yet we can't say them because we get shut down or we get persecuted or it's against some sort of regulation or something. So I am holding back a lot of things that I would like to say right now, and maybe I'll say them at a different time when Dr. Barbosa is not here. But the fact of the matter is, we have done so many things to our body, and we have done them at sometimes the mandate of the government, that there are people out there that are trying to help, like Dr. Barbosa, get us back to where we were before. Get us back to a point when our body doesn't have all these toxins. And these toxins oftentimes are placed there by ourselves, but at the behest of people that claim to be doing us some sort of a health treatment, if you will. So I just had to take that segue because you mentioned clots, and it's a big thing nowadays. It's a very big thing. I have many friends that are having this issue, that their blood is clotting. Now, I won't get into why. I think everyone pretty much knows. Anyone who watches this show knows why this thing is prevalent in our communities nowadays, in our culture. However, what can we do naturally to get blood clotting under control?
So we can take garlic helps with as a blood thinner, vitamin E, a little bit blood thinner, even omega-3 can work as a little bit, but the garlic will be a must.
Okay.
It would help a lot.
Yeah, and now does it matter if it's cooked or raw?
Like in capsules and tinctures.
Okay.
And also I have a product for that. I have two: nattokinase, vein light, garlic. I have many other products that would thin the blood and clean up the blood, because usually when the blood is acidic, I use another product. It's called protease.
Okay, I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
I use protease. So there is many ways to help with to clean up the blood, because eating incorrectly in most of the body it's acidic. That means the red blood cells stick together. It's called rholeol, and that's acidic blood. And if your blood is acidic, it's not alkaline, it's bad to be sick.
Okay.
It's like a inflammation, and then it's bad for any disease.
Right.
Once the body has inflammation, and avoid gluten and dairy, all costs, and would help a lot.
Right. Okay. Gluten, has it always been in our diet? Has it always been in our food system?
No. Like if you see in the Bible times, the bread that God ate is called sarraceno. It's not that bread. That gluten was made by a man in laboratory in 1970s, because they want the depression time, so they want to feed the people, so they create that. But because they start using, so everything now has gluten, like the pollens got mixed up, and so everything has gluten. But there is flours that you can do your own bread, like quinoa, almond flour, and any other flours that is gluten free.
Okay.
But a gluten is not like when you eat gluten, your body fabricates gliadin and inflames it's a neurotoxin, inflames your brain. So you have to avoid.
So it's a
neurotoxic.
The specter of inflammation. Inflammation is
and the lactose too, because the way, like before, a cow I think it was 20 liters of milk, if I believe, and now as they do 40, they put a lot of hormones, a lot of antibiotics, and then we're not made to drink milk all our life, because while we are a child we have something to degrade, but no anymore to digest. And when you drink any dairy product, it's called casein. Casein is inflammation and is a neurotoxin too.
Okay.
So that's if a child is autistic, if ADD, or if you have, no, it doesn't matter. Anybody is going to have inflammation.
Right.
And the inflammation is bad for disease. So if you eat gluten and drink dairy products, it's bad to be sick one day, because you cause inflammation.
Now, to my understanding, there are certain things we can do for inflammation. One of them is turmeric, correct?
Yeah, turmeric is good for anti-inflammatory. Okay. And there is many other ones.
Right. And what would you recommend?
The one that I use is Enflazyme, turmeric, X4000. I have many other products, but curcumin, they all anti-inflammatories.
When we visit Nature's Remedy Center here in McAllen, right? When we visit there, we can do a few things. Can we make an appointment with you? How does that work?
Yes, usually you can call the offices, or you can make appointment, and then we see you. And doesn't matter what the health condition you have, we have supplements to help with.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then so we can consult with you.
Yes.
We can tell you our story.
Yes.
Our problems that we want to get fixed, right?
Yeah, usually when they come to me, they have already a diagnosis. They have the lab work. They have all the things. They know what they have. And then I just help them out like detoxing the body, guiding to a better like to eat well and
Right.
things like that. Guiding,
Right.
yes.
And you also have products there?
Yes,
that-
we do
that-
have nutraceutical. It's
okay.
called nutraceutical. It's not pharmaceutical. It's nutraceutical. That means professional.
Nutraceuticals.
As nutraceutical. It's professional.
Nutraceuticals. I like that.
Yes,
I like
it's
that.
professional.
Nutraceuticals. I like
Yes.
that. Now, we have about 5 minutes left in the show.
Yes.
And I'd like to ask you, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you have on your heart that you want to share?
It's just to be prepared for the flu season, the next one. They can take zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C, and those things to prepare for and they're immune. That will help them. And yes, vitamin D would help pretty much for them to be prepared for the next flu season.
Excellent. And taken with K2, right?
Yes,
that
they
helps
can
too.
take vitamin D with K2.
It's
fine.
a good mixture somehow.
Yes, K.
I've
Yes.
heard from people who know that it's a good mixture.
Yes.
And it blends in our body well.
Yes, you can do that.
So we haven't had any questions or anything yet. So what we'll do is we're gonna sign out for this week's edition of the Bitcoin Otter Show, and I'm glad you came in and you visited here. We got some great guests here checking it out, and we've got Dr. Barbosa. And ma'am, I would like to let you know that you can come on anytime. Okay, if you can call Joe, or I'll give you my info after the show. And if you've got something that's on your heart, or you have something that you think needs to get out, a word needs to get out.
Oh, actually, we are planning with Joe. We're gonna do at least once or twice a month. We're gonna do a health show. So
Awesome.
then we're gonna choose topics, and we can have some questions and answer too, depending on the topic. Or we're gonna do that once or twice a month, a health show.
That sounds good.
Yes.
That sounds really good. Because I mean, the more good information we get out, or let's just put it this way, the more options people have to take care of themselves and their families, the better off they are.
It's education. The
Education.
key is education. Like what we do is educate, and the more education you have, be prepared. You can prepare yourself.
What does God say? My people perish for a lack of knowledge.
Yes, that's correct.
Let's not lack in knowledge. Let's just keep going. Let's find out the things that God put here on earth for us.
Yes,
Find them.
correct.
Right? They're here. We
Yes.
just need guidance and people like you that
So
have made
what
a life's work.
we're gonna try to do is educate. That's all we're
Excellent.
gonna do.
Excellent. Okay,
How can
that
we
sounds
get a hold
good.
of her?
What's that?
How can we get a hold of her?
How can we get a hold of her? Well, we have some numbers here. Thank you, Joe. See, Joe's there for a reason, everybody. He's there for a reason. He doesn't just sit there and do nothing. You guys can't see him on the other side of the camera, right? He's there for a reason. So he reminds me, I'm not the pro here.
Yes, I'm located at Nature's Remedy Center, 508 North 10th Street, Suite C10, McAllen, Texas, 78501. My phone number from the office is 956-631-1664.
Awesome. And I have on the Facebook, I put a link to her LinkedIn page. So if you'd like to get some information off of that, it's there on. Just scroll up and one of my posts from today. Now, very quickly, doctor, and I know this is not related to anything in the health realm, but this week, the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, okay, this is very important. This is pretty much a Bitcoin, and it's a cryptocurrency kind of thing. They are attacking the exchanges, ladies and gents. If you've heard, we've been on over a year. If you've heard me once, you've heard me 100 times. Do not leave your crypto on the exchanges. If you need help getting your crypto off the exchange into a secure wallet that you own, that you have the keys for, if you need that help, please email me, bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com, okay? Or go to the website, bitcoinotter.com. You can get in touch with me. The numbers are there. The contact info is there. I think the time is short, ladies and gents. They have to come after any alternative we have to their central bank digital currency. We will be forced into it one way or another. What we need to do is have options. We have options medically. We need to have options financially. But the usual suspects don't want us to have options. I do. So, with that, contact me, please, if you want more information. Dr. Barbosa, it was a joy to spend some time with you today to learn, because I learned. I hope everyone who watches this show learns. And I'd like to extend another invitation to you, and we'll be watching here at KCYP The City, 97.7 FM. We're going to have some more shows with Dr. Barbosa, and we're going to learn. That's awesome. So until next week, until next time, we're on. God bless you, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Let's go! This is the Bitcoin Otter Radio Show.
Oh my God, I love you so much!
On 97.7 FM, The City.
We're closing it out right now. Joe's going to give us the go-ahead, and he's going with the outro, and then we'll be done.